Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here today on episode 1964 of the Cabral Concept, where we will be debunking the debunkers of the toxins and detoxing myths. So this is really important because we live in a time where anyone can say anything on social media, in a YouTube video, you name it, and all of a sudden they've been given a voice, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's great to have all different viewpoints in the world. However, what the YouTube algorithms and social media can't do yet is what is actually giving people the most benefit and what isn't actually true or not. I know that we have fact checkers out there, but sometimes that can be more based on the views of big tech than necessarily the facts themselves, which we've found over the last year or so. There's actually been back and forth between what's true and what's actually not true, but that's not the discussion for today. The discussion for today is that sometimes it's difficult to know who to trust, who's telling the truth, and what are they even talking about in the first place. And really, I've seen happening just over the past couple of years to a lot of colleagues of mine, even myself, is to people say like, well, functional medicine detoxes are something made up by the functional medicine industry, and they don't hold any real benefit for the human body because the human body is constantly detoxing on its own. So I want to share with you today the actual science, not of detoxing itself, which we know does actually happen in the body. I'll take you quickly through that, but actually that the body is not able to detox everything from the environment around it. So I'm going to make this really concise for you, and I know a lot of integrative health practitioners have asked about this. I simply want to share it with you as a way to just say, listen, I get it. I understand everyone's allowed to have their voice, and that's a great thing, but a lot of people are not working with a full acumen of all the different scientific facts around this. And again, that's okay. That's what we're all here for. We're learning as we go, and we're all on this journey together. So right now you have the Center for Disease Control. You've got Better Health in Australia. You've got the European Union. You've got the Environmental Working Group. You have the World Health Organization. You have the CDC. You've got the National Institute of Cancer, and so many others implicating environmental toxins, right? Environmental toxins with everything from cancer to metabolic disease, cardiovascular disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, etc. That's all scientifically proven. I'm going to take you through all of that here today. And the real issue is how many toxins are in the world? Nobody has any idea. That's the crazy thing. The World Health Organization, that's supposed to be keeping track of a lot of this, has it at somewhere around 144,000 man-made toxins. Now, when we look at it from a carcinogenic-based standpoint, at least half of those cause cancer or damage to the body in excess. The issue is that they say that the microscopic doses in the environment, as allowed from one-time usage, is not enough to hurt the human body. The problem is, what hasn't been studied for them during these small sample studies is what happens when multiple of these toxins interact with each other. What's that concoction look like? Or what happens over many years of accumulating these micro doses of toxins into the body? These things, again, are now being shown to be very detrimental for the human body. So much so that our liver, which was supposed to be able to handle toxins as they came in, is not able to. And that's really what the issue comes in with a lot of people saying that there's no need to do a functional medicine detox, that the liver can handle it on its own. So let me take you through that. Your liver, which is under the right side of your rib cage, I'll actually show it to you right now. So if you're watching this on video, Great. If not, you can head on over to stevencabral.com/1964 and watch it on video or right on YouTube. But underneath the right side of your rib cage, there is a very large, dark red organ. And that organ enables you to filter all of the blood in your body every 6 minutes for toxins. Okay, it does more than that. It actually helps with enzymes. It actually helps formulate certain hormones, such as thyroid, T3, and so much more. So your liver is one of the most important organs in the human body. All right, this is really important. So in ancient Ayurveda, there was a loosely translated phrase that went, so goes the health of your liver, goes the health of your entire body. Because your liver is essentially the car filter when you are going down the highway at 65, 75 miles an hour with all the pollutants in the air, and you're hoping that that filter, where all the air is coming in through the vents, is actually catching at least some of that smog. And that's actually what your liver does. It's able to filter out a lot of the chemicals that come in through food, hormones, cellular breakdown, adipose tissue breakdown, which we'll get to in a moment, or actual pollutants from the outside. And again, there are at least 144,000. All right. When I wrote the rain barrel effect, I quoted it at 77,000. I knew back then it was 100,000, but the sources that I had could quote 77,000. So I always wanted to give you the exact science. We know now that it's at least double that. Okay. Organizations like the European Union only allowed 8,000, this is 3 years ago, of the 77,000 in that the US allows. So they're a lot more stringent on genetically modified organisms as well as certain pesticides. Now, pesticides are not the only pollutants, okay? Again, 144,000. We've got flame retardants, we've got fluoride in water, we've got chlorine in water, we've got parabens, we've got triclosan in hand sanitizer and toothpaste, we've got sodium lauryl sulfate in most shampoos for sudsine-based agent. I could go on and on. Again, like xylenes, there's so many different things that people say, well, name 5 toxins. Well, we could be here all day naming toxins if we really want to get into this. So toxins are a real thing. Again, this is a real thing named by every major organization and country in the world. So, and again, you can look all of these up and I will put all of the links, not exhaustive, but I will give you at least a dozen scientific links today at stevencabral.com/1964. All right. So back to the liver. The liver is the main way for detoxification in your body. That allows you to break things down from a phase 1, phase 2 perspective. And I'm not going to go deep on that today. I've got a lot of podcasts on that. I'll link those up today as well. And I've got a free detox course. It's completely free. You can go to equa.life/detox-course. I'll link that up as well. That will teach you exactly how your liver works. All right, so your liver is going to break things down. It's going to essentially, it's going to take them out of your bloodstream. It's going to move them through its end course into your stool so that when you have a bowel movement, a lot of these toxins are coming out, which is great. So then what can happen is that there's some residue left. Your kidneys can filter that. And it can be filtered into urine, which will come out, obviously, when you urinate. Another way is through your skin. So your body can actually take harmful things from your sweat and excrete them through your skin. And the last way is from a gas or from a water vapor can actually be huffed out through your lungs. It's not the best way to detoxify. The best way is obviously your liver, then your kidneys, then your skin, and then your lungs, but you want to use all of them. That's the truth. Now, again, what the debunkers would say is that your body detoxes everything that you need to, so there's no need to ever do a functional medicine detox or take anything that helps with detoxification. I get it. I understand that. And maybe it was the case 6,000 years ago, like in ancient Ayurveda, but even then they talked about ama, right? I went over that. When did I go over that? Last week around episode 1958. So ama as toxicity was known even back then because endogenously our body breaks down cells and it breaks down fat tissue and all the stores from those as well. So again, smoke was around 6,000 years ago. Smoke's a carcinogen. The body would break that down. So again, we needed all of these things. So debunkers would say that there's no need to do a functional medicine detox because of course your liver does all these things. Okay. It's a good theory. It really is. And the thing is our liver is doing the best that it can. Same with our kidneys, same with our skin. But again, let's be honest. How many times a week do you sweat, right? Not many, right? For most people, they're just not sweating that often. Think about it. Back in the day, living in a warm climate, you'd be sweating every day. You'd use that as a nice little form of detoxification. Not everything can be detoxed through the skin because it has to be conjugated first by phase 1 and phase 2 liver detoxification. That's not for today, but you'd have to be able to do that. But again, most people aren't sweating. Most people aren't exercising, exerting themselves, to be honest, the majority of people, to huff things out through their lungs. And most people are dehydrated. They're not drinking half their body weight in ounces of fluid per day. So they're not even urinating enough. So we rely on the liver more than we should. Okay, but let's just say that we go with the fact that debunkers say we don't need a functional medicine detox. I want to actually show you the scientific research now that says that's not only is it not factual, it's not correct, it's dangerous what they're saying. Because one of the most important things that we do now is support our liver on a daily basis through just nutrients that I'll talk about, but every 12 weeks, like they've done for thousands of years with a functional medicine detox. You don't need to do a full panchakarma. You can do more of a functional medicine detox that now thousands, more than thousands, tens of thousands of functional medicine doctors, such as myself, integrative health practitioners, have been using now for quite some time with amazing results. And that's why we want to share this with the world, because it's the easiest thing that you can do to get the wellness, weight loss, anti-aging results you're looking for. Not the only thing, but the easiest, most straightforward way. All right. And again, the last part I'll say is this, is they're oftentimes quoting, well, medical doctors don't recommend this, so why would a natural health doctor? Well, here's the thing. Conventional medicine and natural health doctors, whether it be, let's say osteopathic, not so much because they're still doing a lot of conventional medicine, but let's say a chiropractic, let's say it's acupuncturist, let's say naturopathic doctor, integrative health practitioner. It depends on the courses you're taking. But most doctors take anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, toxicology. They know how the human body works, right? So they know how liver detox works, but to them, it's kind of not needed after that unless that's their specialty. And the reason is that their specialty is pharmaceuticals. Their specialty is in disease management. Their specialty is not natural health. So they've never studied nutritional supplements unless they go into that after they go for their medical degree. And they've never studied lab testing to look for these toxins, and they've never studied nutrition. So it's like, that's not their field, right? And that's why I believe everybody needs a medical doctor, but they also need either a naturopathic doctor or functional medicine doctor or an integrative health practitioner. I mean, you should have both. Well, I mean, why can't you have both? You should have both. So that's why I look at it for two different things completely. But I digress. Let's actually go into this. So I'm going to link every single one of these studies up at stephencabral.com/1964. All right, let's go over it. All these studies show specifically that the body's not able to detoxify all of the toxins that come in, and as a result, they store them in the fat stores of the body, whether it be the eyes, whether it be the brain, or whether it be your fat cells or organs themselves, or your adipose tissue. Okay. Adipose tissue, again, is another name for fat stores. First, PubMed study. These are all PubMed. These are all peer-reviewed. These are all written in scientific medical journals. Not natural health journals, but scientific conventional medicine journals. Here's the first one. Adipose tissue as a site of toxin accumulation. This study goes into how when the human body is not able to detoxify toxins, many of these pollutants are stored in your body fat. And the reason is that they can't stay in your bloodstream. Your liver's not able to get all of them. So what does it do? It nicely stores them away inside the fat where they never have to be dealt with again unless you start to lose body fat. Keep that in mind. All right, the second one is this. It's called distribution of persistent organic pollutants in serum, that means blood, and parietal adipose tissue of French women with deep infiltrating endometriosis and circulating versus stored ratio as a new marker of exposure. Okay, so they're actually talking about fat stores. They're taking fat stores. They're looking at all the different toxins in those versus circulating toxins in the blood. It's much higher in the fat stores than in the blood. Why? Because the body needs a place to put it if it's not able to detoxify, and it's linked to endometriosis. If you're a woman and you have endometriosis, you may want to look into functional medicine detoxifications. Again, I can't give any medical advice on the podcast. No cures for any disease, no treatment protocols. We can't do that. We can't state that. We have to stay within our scope. Okay, the next study is this. Recent trends of exposure to PCDDs, PCDF, dioxins like PCBs, right? They may have heard about before, in general population in association with diabetes, medical syndrome, gout. So let's look at this. Now we're seeing toxins from our environment that everyone's exposed to being linked to diabetes and metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and type 2 diabetes. All right, next study. Blood levels of dioxins, furans, dioxin-like PCBs, and TEQs in the general population. And again, that shows all the different blood levels on a daily basis of those people. Next study, relationship between the concentrations of polychlorinated dibenzodioxins, polychlorinated dibenzofurans, and polychlorinated biphenyls in maternal blood and those in breast milk. This is where it gets even scarier. Not only can we not detoxify all the different toxins in our body, they're actually passed on from the mother to the unborn baby. We'll get to another study in just a moment that really made all of this hit the news, and I wrote about it in my book, The Rain Barrel Effect. And not only is it passed from mother to baby through the placenta, through the fetal cord into the baby, but it's also passed in breast milk to the child themselves. Next study, plasma levels of polychlorinated biphenyls, which are PCBs, and the risk of soft tissue sarcoma. So this study showed a potential causal link between PCBs and soft tissue sarcoma, which is called STS. However, not a strong link. But what they did show was there was a lot of PCBs in the bloodstream. All right, next study. This goes back to endometriosis again, and organochlorinated environmental pollutants, and a case study of Italian women of reproductive age, and how organical pollutants, which by the way, organic doesn't mean that it means that it's natural. It means it's from the outside world, but not necessarily doesn't mean healthy for you, and how pollutants caused endometriosis. Again, this is a tiny fraction of studies. We're talking about tens of thousands of studies. I'm giving you about a dozen here today. Just two more. The association between obesity and mortality in the elderly differs by serum concentrations of organic pollutants, a possible explanation for the obesity paradox. This is a remarkable study that shows that what happens when older people begin to lose body fat, that these toxins are re-released in the bloodstream. And the older you are, the less you are most likely going to be able to detoxify those with your liver, which of course is why you need more help that you need to give to your body. That was an amazing one, showing obesity is tied to toxins as well. The next one and last one is this. This is what I wrote about in the Rain Barrel Effect. This really disturbed a lot of people. It's been 20 years, I believe, since this study took place, called the 10 Americans. I'm going to link it up as well, by the Environmental Working Group. I'll actually try to post the video. I'm going to give it all away. So if you want to watch the video, great. But it is about, they tested these 10 Americans for just about 400 different toxins, not 144,000, but 400. The average was about 230, just a little over that. So they tested for 400 toxins. The average was 230. And these 10 Americans were unborn children. So when you look at that, you can see that we come into this world already harboring toxins. And that is undisputable now. So when someone tells you that there's no science behind needing to do a functional medicine detox, that your body already detoxes everything that it needs, you have to understand, they're probably not meaning any harm, but they certainly haven't looked through the medical literature. They haven't looked through the scientific studies. I'm not going to go through what a functional medicine detox is today. You can learn more about it at equi.life/detox. I can't link that up because it's associated with all these different studies. But you can also check out the free detox course at equi.life/detox-course. That's completely free. I will also link up my previous podcasts on how to do a functional medicine detox and how you can naturally ramp up with food and nutritional supplements, phase 1, phase 2 liver detoxification, which, by the way, in my over a decade of functional medicine practice and 25 years in the fitness and nutrition space, I've never seen anything work better. It doesn't mean it's a cure-all, but I'm telling you right now, it is the best place to get started, a 21-day functional medicine detox. It's why myself and thousands of others of my colleagues recommend it every single day. That is it for today. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, I'm here to connect us, to bring us together, not to separate us, but I did want to make sure that we debunked the debunkers. And again, all of those show notes are at stephencabral.com/1964. Take care. Do feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. Thank you so much for tuning into today's Cabral Concept. Appreciate you. I truly do. And I want to make sure that you know all about our brand new hormone labs that have debuted this week. They are typically $129, which is a very low cost for an at-home lab that also includes a 30-minute consultation with your Equilife health coach and a plan tailored to you. It's an absolutely amazing deal based on that hormone lab. We have the female hormones lab, which looks at progesterone and estrogen, and we have the male hormone lab, which looks at DHEA and testosterone. But instead of paying the $129, which you can, and it's a great deal, we are giving away 500 completely free this week. That means on all qualifying orders over at equa.life, you can get yours completely free. $250 for the female, $250 for the male, while supplies last. Check out the qualifying order details over at equi.life for all the details. Take care, and of course, let us know if there are any questions. Enjoy.